Guys, Marsengan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and yes, they finally remembered that this unit exists. After such a long time of waiting, this unit has finally gotten an EZA, the physical Super Kaioken Goku. I remember summoning for this guy when he first came out on Global as a Global First unit, and I remember as a Global player, especially back then, it was very rare that you would get Global First stuff, and he was kind of fun to use. He had this really good link set, because obviously nowadays we get a lot more units that have multiple of the important key links, but back then when links were so important, I mean they always have been, but team building was a little bit more restrictive, I guess, back then. Obviously we didn't have link levels. Characters would either have prepared for battle or shocking speed, or sorry, most of the Saiyans, especially like fusions, would either have prepared for battle or over in a flash. And then you had the odd characters like some of the Ultimate Gohans that would have shocking speed. And then this guy had all of them. So he was just like this ultimate key battery where you could just put him on your Saiyan or like super class teams and you knew he was going to share a link with somebody. So I've really been waiting for this guy's EZA, because Super Kaioken Goku, obviously he technically is just from the filler arc with the Otherworld tournament where he fights Pikkon. So he has very little representation in a lot of the Dragon Ball media, like all the games really. This is the only version of him in Dokkan. So it would definitely be cool to get a new one at some point, but we take the EZA. Now, from reading his details, he definitely seemed a bit, you know, So, you know, out of all of the units that are getting their EZA, this is the one that I really wanted to see first. So this is why I'll get the rest of the showcases done like on my own account, but I really wanted to see how good this guy was. The private server that I use has literally just gotten the update to get the new units, so I thought we would jump in and at least have a look at Super Kaioken Goku. I will do the other showcases, and obviously we'll use these guys in a bunch of different events, like on my actual real account, but for the initial showcase I just wanted to jump in and take a look at him as soon as he was available. So his super attack, the Super Kaioken Kamehameha, massively raises attack for 1 turn, which is 100%, does immense damage to the enemy and sacrifices 5% HP. And then his passive is 4 key, 200% attack and defense, high chance to dodge, randomly changes int key spheres to key spheres of another type, so int to any other random type. He can survive a KO attack once within the turn, which, I mean, realistically, unless he's like the unit in slot 3 and then he dodges any other follow-up attacks, survive KO attack is kind of a pointless mechanic because it puts you on 1 HP. But there are very few instances in Dokkan where you can take 0 damage. Like, even if you've got over 100% damage reduction, you still take double digits and then you die if you've got 1 HP. So we'll see if there'll be any occasions where that will actually be helpful. But if HP is 80% or more, you get an extra 100% defense. If it's 80% or less, he then changes physical orbs to STR. When attacking with 12 or more key, he gets 100% attack and defense. He gets an additional 50% attack and defense when HP is 80% or less, and that's when attacking. So if you're at 80% or less HP, he is going to get 150%. And also this, when HP is 80% or more, that's at the start of the turn. So if he's in slot 2, for example, and the unit in slot 1 gets hit and you lose 20% of your HP, he'll then get this buff when he attacks, while still having had this buff from the start of the turn. So in that particular situation, he could end up with quite high post-super stats. It's a shame he doesn't raise defense on his actual super attack effect, but if you get an STR or a physical orb, he gets 2 additional super attacks. For every STR or physical orb you do pick up, he gets 40% attack and 10% crit chance. And then if you pick up AGL, Tech, or Int, any one orb, he gets Guard. And if you pick up, for each of those orbs, AGL, Tech, or Int, you get attack and defense 20% and extra dodge chance. So basically, AGL, Tech, or Int makes him more defensive when you pick up the orbs. It does give him a little bit of attack as well, but it gives him the guard, extra defense, and dodge chance. And picking up STR or physical orbs gives him a bunch of extra attack, 2 additional supers, and extra crit chance. So we'll go ahead and take a look. Like, start of turn, he's only at 250k, which obviously is not particularly great. There's also not a real large amount of orbs here on the field, unfortunately. If we do this, can we drop those? Okay, so we can get, if we wanted to get 8 STR orbs here, well, it'll be 7 STR orbs and 1 rainbow. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're only going to get the attack buff here. So we've not got any extra defense. We don't have the guard. So we're basically going to be relying on that 50% chance to dodge. He's not on power beyond Super Saiyan because unfortunately Kaioken doesn't count, obviously, as Power Beyond Super Saiyan, and units on Super Saiyan 1 don't count as Power Beyond Super Saiyan, obviously. So when they combine the two, that doesn't count either. So he's not on Power Beyond Super Saiyan, which means he does not get any support from the AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku, unfortunately, which would have been a nice little extra bonus, I guess, for him to have. But either way, let's see. What are we looking at here? I mean, 21 million as his first attack is pretty good. And remember, because we picked up STR orbs, he's going to get another 2 of those guaranteed. So then he jumps up to 24. So then what? The next one's going to be like around 26, 27 potentially. Yeah, 20, basically almost 27. And then we could get the hidden potential as well. So that's a decent bit of damage if he gets the hidden potential, which he did not. Took 63 from a normal attack, which is what we'd hope for. Because remember, he gets 100% on super, so his defense was at about 500k, which obviously is not great. Like, without the guard against some of the tougher hitting bosses, like, he's going to take damage from normal attacks. But I guess his role is kind of to take to do to be a damage dealer if you're getting STR or physical orbs. Although, funnily enough, the situation I described when reading his stats at the beginning is exactly what happened. We lost over 20% of our HP when Tech Goku took the super in slot 1, so he actually got 150% stats when he super attacked. So that is actually pretty good. So let's put you in slot 1. Xeno Goku is kind of a massive risk to run in these more difficult events. I really just wanted to see his like his support for the Goku, but that could end up being a bit of a mistake, especially because we'll probably kill Goku Black here before Xeno Goku gets to attack, which means when he next comes back, which will probably still be against STR Zamasu, he's not going to have any stacks whilst also having type disadvantage. So not really ideal, but you know, we'll see how we go. Between Gotenks and the Tech Goku, we should easily finish off Goku Black here. But I mean, you got to remember, this guy is a non-banner unit. He's a sub EZA. He's in the general pool, right? You can just get him on any banner. I can't remember the last time I pulled him. I think I did pull STR Pike on not that long ago. I'm sure they're in the general pool. So like, he's a character that he's just a general banner pool, like side SSR technically. So for his EZA, him doing like multiple 25 million attack stat supers in a turn is pretty good. Obviously, he gets the 220% leader skill here from the Goku. Unfortunately, though, this is a really bad rotation for... We basically don't have a slot 1 unit. So, yeah, that's really bad. We could put him in slot 1 and rely on the 50% chance to dodge, but that's pretty awkward. I mean, we could get 8 STR orbs here. I do want to see what he looks like post-attack with actual, like the defensive orbs, because obviously if we pick up AG... So yeah, that's... Unfortunately, though, we end up getting a really bad set of orbs here. Because if we get these 2, he gets a little bit of extra defense and he gets guard. So then he's looking at... He's at 200k with guard, the 150% on super, so that puts him up to like 500 and something. That's not really that good. Obviously, if Zamasu has the potential to just kill us here as well. Yeah. Okay, so I've modified the team a little bit so we can get some better slot 1s. We've got Beast on the team. This is actually a really good turn for... Look at that. We can get 9 physical orbs here. So again, he's not going to get any extra sort of defensive buffs. But we've got 273k defense start of turn because we've got the Xeno Goku here as well. But that's a lot of orbs, bearing in mind that, remember, he gets 40% extra attack from each physical or STR key sphere obtained. And we just got, like, was it 7 or 8 of those. So he was doing around 25 mil with the initial ones. I think the thing that can make him really good in terms of the damage output is just by getting 1 physical or STR orb, he's doing 2 additional supers guaranteed. So the more orbs you pick up, the more like juiced he's going to get, and then he's always doing 3 super attacks if you're getting the physical or STR orbs. And so then again, hidden potential, he has the chance to do another one as well. I feel like the best build for him is probably full dodge and then the rest additional, though, to be fair, because only having the base 50%. Yeah, he's got 21 million here. This is because obviously on that very first turn in the first part, we dropped below the 80% before he attacked, which we obviously didn't this time. But we're still getting those kind of numbers here without actually being below the 80% HP. So he would be getting another 50% buff if we were on a low HP like we were on that previous turn. And then he actually gets the dodge this time. Xeno Goku does actually have damage reduction on his first turn, so hopefully if he gets a couple of super attacks off here, he should just be able to tank fine. Although I think Goku Black hasn't super attacked, has he? He didn't super Gotenks in slot 1, so he does have the potential to super Xeno Goku here. Or at least we tank the normals for double-digit damage, and then no super. That's good. Okay, so... and the funny thing is, actually, he can trigger his own passive. Like, we didn't get that low, but if I get no type orbs here, we probably could see that happen. Because if I do... Let's do this. Then we'll get 7 orbs for you. I need to make sure I'm not getting any same type orbs, though, because I don't want to heal. Which is annoying, because then it means, well, you won't get a chance to super anyway. He's just going to be dead. Because, yeah, what will happen is he sacrifices 5% of his own HP when he attacks with a super. The way it should work, I believe, since the buff is when attacking, is if we're at 85% HP, which we are here, we'll probably drop to, I would say, at least 84%, even if we just take normals for the rest of the turn, take double-digit damage. After he does the first super, we drop to 79% HP, so then when he does the second super attack, we're now below 80% HP, so he will then get that extra 50% buff. Of course Kid Goku takes the super, man. I don't know how much this Goku, we shouldn't die here, right? Okay, well... Okay, my bad. Sorry, Kid Goku. I wasn't familiar with your game. Double-digit damage. Okay. So, yeah, we're at 85%. Of course, we don't kill him. Well, actually, Goku will get an additional super, won't he? Yeah. Goku can finish him off in slot 3. So, yeah, now, when he attacks, we will lose 5% HP, drop to 79%, and then we'll be able to get our extra buff. So, we changed some random orbs here. We got a lot of tech orbs on the field. I mean, we could try putting him in slot 1 and see. I mean, of course, I've ended up with both my slot 1 units on the first turn, so that's annoying. I only started this run because Kaioken Goku was actually on turn 1 with Xeno Goku, but of course, we've ended up with both of our slot 1 units on the first turn. But yeah, this could be interesting to see his defense. So we're going to get 7... Oh, there's 4 rainbow orbs. We're going to get... we're only going to get 6 tech orbs. That would still just be 6. So actually, that doesn't really make much difference. So what's his start of turn defense here if no support? 236. And then if we get him 6 tech orbs, that puts him up to 300k. And so yeah, well, on the first super we're going to get 100%, so he's going to go to 600k with guard. Then if he gets an additional, he would then get an extra 50% on top, so he'd go up to 750. I guess the only problem is by getting the tech orbs, he's now not getting a guaranteed additional super. So if he doesn't get the hidden potential, he actually won't get the second attack and drop us below 80%. So it's going to be an interesting like juggling sort of thing with him, because you can see a big difference, right? 12.8 million. Now that would be acceptable if he was then going to be super strong defensively, but obviously that's not necessarily the case. We do get the extra dodge chance as well, which actually, to be fair, 5% per tech orb, and we picked up 6. So he currently has 80% chance to dodge. And yeah, including the super, he just dodged every single attack in slot 1. So him doing a 12 million attack stat, while it's not exactly great, like he then didn't take any damage. So I mean, whilst he doesn't directly give support as like a floating unit on some of these teams, you can like float him onto different rotations. He's providing everybody with the key links that they want. But yeah, annoyingly, we've now got this same situation again. Well, actually, at least now we're on turn 4, so we can actually just change over to Vegeta. Kid Goku will be providing the damage reduction support. Actually, let's float off Kid Goku and get that extra bit of support for the extra damage reduction, I should say, for Kaioken Goku. So if we do this, then we can grab those for you. I swear this always happens. Like with his EZA, Path to Power, Kid Goku only needs 5 orbs to give everybody his passive. And so now I put him in slot 3 and I just always get 7, even though pre-EZA, when I was trying to use him as a floating support on some teams before he'd aged out, getting 7 orbs of him in slot 3 would potentially be a nightmare. And now that he only needs 5, I feel like I get 7 like all the time. But either way, it is what it is. I mean, extra orbs are good for him, especially the rainbow orbs, right, for the extra bit of damage reduction. So not going to complain. Vegeta gets a couple of attacks off here. So with the support, because remember this unit is of course a Goku family and Vegeta family unit, so he's being supported by Xeno Goku, who I just realised is going to get cooked if he gets supered by Zamasu. Hopefully he'll only get normal attacked here, because he should hopefully get a couple of supers off, raise his defense that a little bit more. He's got 8% damage reduction from the Kid Goku, so he should be able to tank normal here at least. Of course he did. Bro, this guy, 2.8 million. Okay, I knew Xeno Goku would be our undoing. I love using the heroes units, but man, that's so disappointing. We're gonna try this out. We don't have a great like starting rotation here, but we can get 7 AGL orbs for Goku. I didn't see when we read out his passive at the beginning. Does his dodge thing actually have a limit? Because if not, that's really interesting. No, it doesn't. So if you pick up 10 AGL tech or int key spheres of him, then he has a 100% chance to dodge, which is actually kind of insane. Because we just got 7. So he currently has an 85% chance to dodge whilst also having guard. 328k pre-super. I mean, obviously that's not crazy, but in terms of like normal attacks, he will just eat everything here if he doesn't dodge, which is kind of crazy. So let's do that. Gogeta, I put Gogeta on the team instead of Xeno Goku. Obviously, we're only fighting extreme enemies, so he will have his guaranteed guard. He does provide attack support. So we got 14 million, obviously without getting the physical or STR orbs to give him the attack buff. But we'll see if he should dodge this, right? Yeah, like, man, when we saw his details on paper, I was like, okay, he seems like he could be interesting. I like this idea of like the 2 different kinds of orbs gives him different builds. And then we saw his calcs and like the amounts of sort of post-super defense he has. And it's like, oh, that seems a bit... Ugh. But now that we're actually using him and seeing him in game, the thing that I think is quite interesting is, like on some of these teams where you could have a scout or active, if you can put him in a slot where you know he's not going to get hit by a super, or if he's not getting any attacks at all in that slot, and then you can go all in on the physical or STR orbs, then he can drop a pretty decent amount of damage in the turn. Or if you go for the defensive option and you're able to pick up a decent amount of AGL tech or int orbs, then he could just be dodging everything. And whilst he's not going to do a ton of damage, he'll get that free damage. Additional in his kit definitely will be helpful. Dodge and additional, I think, is the best build. I suppose he doesn't need as much dodge necessarily. It depends on... I guess it depends, right? Because if you're going for the turns where you're getting the full offense, then he only has a 50% chance to dodge. Whereas if you're going for the defense turns, the extra dodge in his hidden potential kind of ends up being wasted a little bit, I guess. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be hit or miss in some events for sure. But actually using him and seeing the numbers that he's dropping, I don't know if I would say that he is bad, or at least as terrible as I've seen some people make out. I think it depends on the situation and what you are looking for, right? Because this team, I was thinking about, we've got Gotenks, who can be a little bit unreliable because of RNG. We've got Beast, who obviously is still very good, but against the hardest hitting bosses, especially deeper into an event, like he can start taking some damage. But like this Goku, if we had like another orb changer on the team, who could change orbs into AGL tech or int specifically, and he could consistently get 10 orbs, which I know is quite a lot even for an orb changer, but if he could consistently get 10 AGL int or tech orbs, then he can't be touched, which is something that would obviously be very valuable in these events. Like if you could consistently run him as a slot 1 and he's just dodging every single attack that comes at him, like that would be crazy. Yeah, because look at this, right? So we can get 10 orbs, so we can test this out a little bit. Obviously it's still RNG. I believe that it's not going to be 50% procs. It should just be 100%. So if we pick up 10 tech orbs with him here now, he's got 387k, which is not a lot obviously, but he also has guard, but he should have a 100% chance to dodge on this turn. And if he gets hit at all, then obviously we'll see that they don't stack. But yep, there's the dodge on the super in slot 1. 12.5 million. I mean, that's the part where he kind of lets it down a little bit, right? Because even if he is a, you know, again, I suppose for a defensive unit in slot 1, we don't really care like how much damage he does. It's about him not getting killed, which in a lot of difficult events, like, you want these units that can go in slot 1 and not get you killed. But, I mean, yeah, someone can correct me if they know the way these passive procs work, but because it gives him additional dodge chance, I believe it is supposed to be added onto the dodge chance that he has already. So with those 10 orbs, he dodged every single attack on the turn, didn't take any damage. I guess technically we lost 5% HP because of his super attack effect, but that's considerably better than him actually getting nailed by a super. I mean, certain units even in slot 1, like Gotenks for example, if Gotenks doesn't get that 777% defense proc, like, he would take some damage, not a lot, because in his early turns he still has that damage reduction, but he would potentially, against some of these bosses, even this Zamasu, potentially wouldn't be taking double digits, especially at low dupe levels, whereas this Kaioken Goku is just taking 0, if you can get the orbs, which is the big thing. And you can kind of try and set up for them, I guess, but, like, obviously with orb changing going on the team in general, it's going to be kind of difficult. Like, this setup here, obviously, we can't, like, guarantee all of these AGL orbs can stay, like, on the rotation, especially because we want to get key for everybody else as well. So, I guess if we do this, and then grab those, get the rainbow orbs for you, gives everybody else that little bit of an extra buff. It's funny, because rainbow orbs can obviously be so useful in bridging the gap between the key that's on the field, but it's the one thing that doesn't do any good for this Goku, right? Because he doesn't get any buffs from rainbow orbs. He needs the tech, int or AGL to get attack and defense and dodge chance. He needs physical or STR to get the attack and crit chance, and he gets nothing from rainbow orbs. So having some rainbow orbs around to bridge the gap with the other orbs is good, but too many rainbow orbs on the rotation is going to be awkward for him. But we'll see what he's going to look like. On this next rotation, we've got the Path to Power Kid Goku. I feel like we are going to end up with a lot of rainbow orbs on this next turn. But yeah, I mean, he has the potential to look really, really good. Gotenks should eat this because he's post-super. Yeah. And then Gogeta gets some attacks off here as well. I do want to see a really big attack turn from Goku, but it's interesting, like I say, depending on the scenario. Sometimes you're not going to have any choice, right? Because you just got to get what orbs are available. But it would be really good to get like a really big attack turn where we could get a lot of STR or physical orbs and then see how he goes. But because what are we at? 95%. So yeah, we can't really trigger the passive here in any major way. Because what have we got? We could get... Yeah, see, that's the annoying thing about rainbow orbs. That's 8 orbs, but it's only 4 STR orbs. So we could drop these here. And then what are we looking at? Yeah, so it's not a crazy amount. We can get 3 physical orbs or 3 STR orbs. And realistically, that's all it is. So let's do that and see what we get here. We can get the thing for Goku. So we're at 255. We'll get up to 500k after we super. Shouldn't take much damage here, even if like Beast gets super attacked in slot 1, which would be the ideal. If Beast gets supered in slot 1 and takes like a little bit of damage, so we can actually drop below the 80% for the Goku passive, that would actually be really good. But he is not going to super in slot 1, and this is the problem. This is where it will be dicey, because turns where you can get a lot of physical or STR orbs, it's one of those things where Goku's like a risk reward. It's like, yeah, you're relying on the 50% chance to dodge because he doesn't have a lot of defense, but at least he's dropping crazy attack stats. Whereas here, like, yeah, not very much, because we've not got a lot of his attack links active on this turn. So even with the STR orbs, we only got 3. So he's only doing the same kind of attack stats that we've been seeing on the defensive turns. But this is why, like, I guess I can see why they didn't give him defense up on super, because on these kind of turns where he's getting like the 3 super attacks, he'd be getting so much extra defense. But obviously that's what we would want, right? And there you go, we survived the KO attack, so we're now going to die because obviously Kid Goku is going to take more than 1 damage. Unfortunately, if Kid Goku was able to get multiple supers with crits here rather than just doing additional normals with crits, dodge maybe? Nah, of course. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of Kaioken Goku down below in the comment section. Obviously, unlucky run with some of the RNG, but I feel like he's not as terrible as we're first thinking, maybe. I don't know. I like these kind of wacky units sometimes where there will be certain turns, like I say, if you can get a turn where he's not being attacked and you're able to get like, you know, 9 or 10 physical STR orbs, he's going to drop a ton of damage. And then on some of those turns, like we saw in that last run, you can get 10 like tech orbs and then he's just going to dodge everything, which is really, really useful. So yeah, I don't know, he could be interesting, he could be terrible. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section, but certainly an interesting one. I don't think it would have made him like the best EZA TUR in the game or something if they had actually given him raised defense on super, because that would make those turns where you're getting the physical orbs so much better for him, right? Because he'd be going to that like 500k, but then even if it was just raised defense at like 30%, each extra super is then going to be giving him another, what, like 70 odd k. He ends up supering 3 times, basically guaranteed, gives him another 200 odd k. He still only ends up at about 750 at most, and then if he does the 4th super from the hidden potential, he gets up to like 800-ish. But without guard or anything, obviously tough bosses are still going to do some damage to him with normals. But I feel like that wouldn't make him crazy OP. And then if you're giving him the defensive mode, where you're going for the AGL Tech or Int Orbs, he's only getting the 1 super off, but he's still getting that extra 30% raise from that super attack effect as well. And then he could get the hidden potential. Like, just having raised defense for 1 turn on his super would make him significantly better. But I don't know. I can't say he's completely terrible. He's not amazing or anything, but yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.